So I really like my RTX 2080 Ti's, but I also like keeping both of my kidneys in my body. So Nvidia has released their 1660 Super recently, and we are going to keep this quick. So I am not going to bore you with my thoughts about their lineup, but essentially this card is in a price range that is reachable for most people who want a great gaming experience at Full HD, but we'll also test it at 1440p resolution. We have the MSI Gaming X version of this card today, so let's see how this performs. Hey guys, I am Siddharth and this is MSI Gaming X 1660 Super review. So unboxing this card is a pretty straightforward experience. You get some user guides and this installation guide where Lucky the Dragon explains how to install this card, and he also explains how to use Afterburner, which is something that you would expect to be too advanced for a dragon. Then you of course have the card itself, and let's take a closer look at this. So this is what the card looks like, and I have really liked the Gaming X series from MSI for a long time. I think that these are amongst the best looking GPUs, and it's also great to see that we still have the same premium design of their flagship cards scaled down on this card. You have this really nice backplate, and every design element just fits really well with each other on this card. At back, we have a pretty standard layout with 3 display ports and an HDMI port, and the only thing missing in comparison to the 2080 Ti here is the USB Type-C port, which can actually be used for connecting pen drives and other USB peripherals. So now let's install it in my PC. I do have a 9900K PC somewhere in the house, but that is not in a working state currently. So we are going to use this 3900X PC, and the difference in gaming performance is around 6% between these two CPUs. But on the 1660 Super, we are really not going to face any bottlenecks because of this. And people buying this card will most probably pair this with something like a Ryzen 5 3600. Here's a specification comparison, and I am not going to spend much time on this. So the most important change between this and the regular GTX 1660 is that we have much faster memory on the Super version, and that actually makes a lot of difference that you will soon see. The boost clock is higher on the card that we have, as it is an MSI overclocked version. We also have NVENC support on the 1660 Super, which will let you encode videos without stressing your GPU performance, which is really great for streamers and even professionals who may use this for rendering videos. We are going to be testing this on high settings for most games, as ultra settings generally butcher the GPU performance unreasonably for marginal improvements in visual quality. Starting with Borderlands 3, we get an average of 65 FPS on Full HD, and this is a game that is very taxing on GPUs without providing a justifiable visual quality. At 1440p, we get around 45 FPS, and you should be able to get 50 to 60 FPS here if you tune a few things like volumetric fog, which are very resource intensive. Devil May Cry 5 is a very optimized game unlike Borderlands 3, so it is really great to have 118 FPS on Full HD, and even on 1440p, we are able to have great performance at over 90 FPS, and this should be able to handle 60 FPS on Ultra preset too. Metro Exodus is another visually taxing game, but we don't have RTX enabled as this is a GTX card, but at this point there are very few games that utilize ray tracing, and a budget card won't be able to perform well with it anyways. On QHD resolution, we almost reached 60 FPS, but we also kept Hairworks disabled on both of these tests, which is a surprisingly taxing feature. Assassin's Creed Odyssey averages 65 FPS with its very high preset, and at 1440p, we almost hit 50 FPS, which isn't surprising as it is not a title that is easy to handle. Project Cars 2 is another well-optimized game, and we get over 110 FPS on Full HD, and even on QHD, we get a great gaming experience at 87 FPS. By the way, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Rage 2 has been one of the few titles that I have thoroughly enjoyed recently, and it also performs very well at 1080p with 81 average FPS, and even on 1440p it performs well, and you should be able to hit 60 FPS with some tweaking. Lastly, we test Rainbow Six Siege on ultra settings, and you can easily have guaranteed 144 FPS on Full HD if you get a high refresh monitor, with the average FPS hitting up to 180. This is a title that you can actually play at 4K, as you also get an amazing 127 FPS on 1440p. So in conclusion, for a price tag of around 20,000 rupees, the 1660 Super seems like a really great choice for Full HD gaming. And at very high settings, we were also able to get great results at 1440p in most of the games that we tested. Only Borderlands 3 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey were not able to manage 60 FPS average at 1440p, but these are some of the most graphically intensive games at the moment. This card is of course really amazing for esports gaming. You should be able to push 4K resolutions in esports titles, and this will just make a good quality gaming experience accessible to a lot of people. The MSI card that we tested specifically also performed really well. This is a sustained load of 1 hour on this card, and this stayed at 65 degrees while maintaining its boost clock, and the fans were also barely audible when it was on full load. And coming to power consumption, the total power draw was at around 200 watts on full load, which I think is a really great result. The Gaming Axe card also looks really great and premium, and it is a really great choice if you are looking to buy a 1660 Super. So I'll have links to it in the video description if you want to buy it or check prices. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or a thumbs down if you disliked it. Subscribe to the channel with bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.